This is a meal prepping video, but I want to be really honest with you that I have never prepped out and then pre-portioned food in my entire life. I've always worked on a bit of a rolling prep system, and it's been incredibly effective for me because I've been able to lose 40 pounds and I've kept them off for coming up 5 years. But I'm so flippin' busy right now that system's no longer working. Even just putting broccoli in the microwave or chopping up a few vegetables for a quick salad feels like too much effort, and I find myself just drinking smoothies at my desk or gulping down more overnight oats or another cup of coffee, which is not amazing when your goal is to stay lean and, for myself right now, build some muscle. So I'm gonna pop my cherry when it comes to actual meal prepping, or what people think meal prepping is, and I bought some cute containers, and we're gonna prep up 4 days of low calorie, high protein, easy, quick meals using all the tools that I know actually work and that people actually use to get successful. And if you find prepping really difficult like I do, then stick to the end of the video because I'm going to share with you some surprising behavioral hacks that I've used to actually make this a ton easier. Here's a mistake I see people making. This actually does really matter. Take notes on this. A lot of people, they're trying to eat 400, 350 calorie meals. And then they're thinking that because they're eating these really low calorie meals, they're going to get in that weight loss zone. And they're thinking that they're eating like 1600 calories a day. But then the weekend comes. You've got some beersies in there. You've got some Ben and Jerry's. You have some chips. You have all this late night snacking. Suddenly you've got a 5,000 calorie day really, really easily. And your average for the week goes up. This is just math. So even if you're eating 1600 calories throughout the week, you have a couple of binges in there, you have a couple of splurges, you're actually eating like 2,000 or 2,500 or even more calories throughout the week if you look at that on average. You will see much, much better results, and you actually lower your overall calories by eating bigger meals, higher calorie meals, throughout your day-to-day and eliminating those splurges. So that's what we're gonna do. So easiest prep rules to live by, we're gonna pick one starch, some veggies, and you can have as many veggies as you want, choose a protein source, and then we're gonna choose a pre-made condiment to make it easy. If you use that system, then it doesn't really matter what you make, you can always make something that is going to be absolutely amazing. So let's crack on. I've chosen quinoa because it is higher in protein and it's pretty easy to make. I'm going to use this entire bag and just cook it up. It can cook in the microwave, so we're going to do that. We're going to rinse it, drain it, 1 cup of quinoa with 2 cups of water. It says to cover it, so I'm just going to use this thing, and then I'm going to put this in the microwave for I think like 5 minutes, and then just see how it goes. And our whole goal here is to save time. So I'm going to put the kettle on right now so that it can start to cook. Also going to turn the oven on to a fan forced, or I think it's like called convection in the States, oven, and get that ready. We're going to steam up about 2 heads of broccoli. You want to have about 1 pound per day. So for the 4 pounds, we want to have 4 pounds. Hot tip with this is just buy your broccoli already cut up. If I could in New Zealand, I would. I know you can, like anywhere else in the States. So we're just going to steam this up and then add some edamame towards the end. And I'm going to use this steamer because I like it, but you could also use a microwave steamer or really any steamer you have. For our protein source, because we've got our starch, we've got our veg, our protein source, I'm gonna cheat. And there's this phrase that I learned when I did art school, and it was bad artists copy, good artists steal. And I want you to use that same concept and cheat as much as you can. If you can get something that is already pre-made, it's already seasoned, if you're gonna get veggies and you can get them already frozen, you're just ripping open a pack, then do that. The more that you cheat and eliminate obstacles for yourself, the more likely you are to succeed. I'm not even gonna have to use a chopping board, which I'm like loving, because I don't have to touch all the things. So we're gonna put in about 300 grams of shelled edamame. And this is the genius part. I always feel like a genius when I do this. I'm gonna cook it in the water while my broccoli is steaming. It's been steaming for about 5 minutes. Real life, this is what my quinoa ended up looking like. I had to cook it for quite a bit longer. It tastes cooked, so there we go. Yum. I have a ton of quinoa left, which I'm going to put into my fridge and use later on for like meals for my family, and if I feel like I'm not going to use it, then I will just put it in the freezer, which is how I like to prep anyway. I just like to have like a ton of starches ready in my fridge, ready in my freezer, ready to go. As I'm looking at this, I'm like, you know what, this is actually a good amount, but you could make this as enough for 4 people, or enough for 4 days, I should say. This is my thing, a whole thing about prepping is it looks so perfect, and like I'll admit this is really cool to see and be like, oh, I have all this stuff prepped, but it always just feels too perfect to me that it feels like unattainable. Whereas this, where I've now got like stuff for the next 3 days, plus I've done some batch prepping that I can use for rolling prep, that feels better to me because I can actually utilize the 2 parts of prep that I like. Having this ready to go for my busy schedule right now, where I'm just going to grab and go, but also having that prep. So this will go in the fridge, and then when I come to get it out, I'm going to be using a little dollop of hummus, and I'll probably just put like a bit of hot sauce on there as well. Unless I'm fluent, cook quinoa in the rice cooker, and I would put some veggie stock in there as well, just to give it a bit more flavor. I'm going to use a onion, capsicum, and some courgette. And we're going to do some kumara as well. And if I had orange, I would use it, but I just have the purple, so we're going to use that. Is it?
Yep.
Good. We're going to make up the easiest tofu recipe that you have ever seen. It is barely a recipe, and I think a lot of people get intimidated by tofu because they think they have to press it, and you do not. You just want to buy really firm tofu and feel around with some brands. I like this macro one that I get from Countdown here in New Zealand, but any kind of really firm tofu, you do not need to press. And I don't even pat it dry, like, if I'm really honest. And I literally just do 2 things: nutritional yeast and vegeta veggie stock, which you can get from Amazon, and I will link in the description. So every 5 minutes or so, you want to give this a good shake and then go until it's crispy. It still needs a little bit more. Alright, so while those veggies are cooking up in the oven, we're going to do our breakfast prep, and I'm just going to make some very easy overnight oats that will literally take like 5-10 minutes. So one of the things that I want to say is that when it comes to oats, I like these Scotch oats or quick oats, and you can see that they're just a little bit more fine. And so what this means is that if I'm in a hurry and I want to eat oats within like the next half hour, they are fine enough that they soak up the water and they don't need all night. You can make these really, really quick and then just instantly eat them like pretty much like 10 minutes later. So if you're someone who's really busy, give these kind of quicker, finer oats a go. And I'm going to make 2 varieties. First one is going to have peanut butter powder, so this is still going to be high in protein but slightly less than the other variation that I'm going to make, which actually does have protein powder. So depending on what your goals are, if your goals are mostly weight loss related, then I would just choose this. Let's do some raspberry for the peanut butter oats. This is going to make them kind of like a PB&J overnight oats. And we'll do something else together. One time I did actually crunch a bug from a packet of frozen fruit, so just to give you nightmares. Mixed berries for these ones. And protein powder already has like a sweetener in it, so I'm just going to add a tiny bit of this to these ones, just like tablespoon, half a tablespoon. So I have all my oats here, and that was actually really quick and easy. I would do this as a rolling prep system rather than prepping up all this stuff at once. It'll be super easy just to do this at night. It's kind of just as much effort to do 1 as it is to do 4. So if I ran out one night, I'd probably just do like another 4, and I might try that from now on. I don't know whether these are going to fit in my fridge though, but it looks cool at least. So we'll look here. This is what it looks like. It goes this beautiful yellow kind of color, and this one is very, very cheesy. I really like to have it just on the go and put it as a side to pretty much everything because it goes with everything. I can have this on pasta. It's amazing in salads. I'm really careful to not like overcook it. And so for me, I like it when there's a little bit of crispiness, because it means that once I reheat it, I'm going to prep a big batch and then reheat it, and it's not going to go too crispy. So for me, this is perfect. It's so simple, but it's flippin' fantastic. I actually have a friend that loves this so much. She will make up a batch and then she'll just like take it, like when she's skating out and about, and send me pictures of like handfuls of tofu. It's that good. Somehow it just tastes like chicken. I don't even know how. And by the way, this is a staple that is in my fridge pretty much at all times. It's the kind of thing I do. What do you think? Good.
Hold on, please. More. Thank you.
All right, so our veg is all ready, so it's time to plate this up. I've got the veg and the tofu, and then I do have like a little bit of tofu left, which I'm going to use. And I just kind of eyeballed it for this one. But I'm also going to put in some baby spinach, some cherry tomatoes, and then the other thing that I'm going to do is put on a bit of this refried beans, because this is kind of like a Mexican-y type thing. And then my plan is that I'll just add like a quarter of an avocado when I go to eat it, and obviously I won't put that in now because it will go bad. And there we go. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how to make prep systems that work for you. And like, honestly, I'm going to use a bit of a combination of this and then my own rolling prep system. And a rolling prep system is just where when you run out of one component, you prep up another one. This kind of prep system, I think, works for someone who is very, very busy and they need to grab and go. So if you need to leave your home environment and then go to school, go to work, this could work really well. The other thing is for someone who really just doesn't have much time to chop a whole lot of things, cook a whole lot of things, or for someone who is going to be eating different meals to their family. I don't think this system is ideal for someone who is a stay-at-home mum, for example, and they need to, at the same time that they cook meals for themselves, cook for their entire family. In saying that, I do overnight oats and I do my lunch to have separately, and then I'll normally just cook a dinner for my family. So this is actually going to last me longer because I'll give some to Nick and then I'll be eating these meals for lunches. One of the most important things is that you create a system that works for you. And the easiest way to do this is a bit of trial and error, where you gamify this to make it as easy as possible. And every single time that you remove an obstacle, you get a point for that. I like to think about it, if I can eliminate the need for a chopping board, like I did with using frozen fruit, or if I could use frozen veggies instead of cutting them up, if I don't have to cut them myself and they're already prepped, if I can use a pre-made condiment, the more that you can do this, the more likely you'll succeed, because you make it quicker and you make it easier. Think about why convenience food works, because it's convenient. I'm so flippin' hungry. I'm gonna warm this up and then add a little bit of avocado. I was actually really surprised because I thought this meal would be higher in calories, but it worked out to under 500 calories, so about 500 calories. Even with the avocado, I added that into the calculations, and it's just because there's a lot of veg in there, and veg is super low calorie. And if you want it more filling, just add more veg. You know what? Not bad. I would add like 50 times more spinach next time. Alright, I'm gonna dash. Let's have a real quick look at the nutritional profile of this. So if we go look in the day, we've got the quinoa and tofu, overnight oats, and sweet potato and veg. So it works out to about 1,600, I would say between 1,600 and 1,800 calories, which is ideal for a weight loss zone for most women, because you're going to be super full and satisfied from these kind of meals. I honestly don't worry too much about calories, and let me just put this out there. When I started actually counting my macros at the very end of my weight loss journey, when my calorie needs were even far lower than what they would have been at the beginning because I was a smaller person, I found it really, really hard to stick to under 1,800 calories. And what that made me realize was that throughout my entire weight loss journey, I'd been consuming more than that because it was really easy for me to do so. And that blew my mind at the time, because I always thought that I had to eat really low calories in order to lose weight. So I'd challenge you on that fact. And there's a whole lot of fiber in these meals as well, which means that you're not going to absorb all of the calories. But if we look at the profile of this day, and just remember that you're going to have some snacks and things in here as well. We're hitting pretty much everything here. The main ones that we want to look at is we want to be hitting the folate. We're not hitting vitamin A, and a lot of that's just because there's not like some carrots and more like leafy greens in there, but I'll probably snack on carrots. And what's really important is that you're hitting those things throughout your week as well. One day in isolation, you're not looking to get every single thing perfect. Vitamin D, I'm going to get from the sun. Everything else is looking really good. Iron's looking really good, which you can see. And then protein, we're at over 100 grams of protein. And this, by the way, was me checking off, not even counting that protein powder. So this was me putting in the data for the PB2 powder. So it's really easy to eat high protein if you have a lot of like tofu, beans, edamame, quinoa, of some of those high protein elements. And if you wanted to make the calories less, you just have slightly less of those and then up your veggie intake. Omega-3s from the flax, which is absolutely awesome. So all of this looks really, really good. So I just ate that meal while I was doing my call and it was actually super delicious. I'm really surprised that refried beans makes it. So I'm definitely going to be doing that more, and the kumara is amazing. But I wanted to show you how much effort goes into creating a thumbnail. It's so funny breaking the fourth wall here. I just set up to take a thumbnail and I like make my boxes all pretty. And look, I put a few nuts, I put like avocado, and this is basically how I ate it with hot sauce, and then put a few, like some chocolate sauce, like Nutella-y vegan stuff, and some praline here, and like, it's beautiful. This is what people do. I just think it's funny. Well, that's it for me. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments if you're going to go and do some of this prep. Even if you just did one of these components, even if you just did the overnight oats, it's going to make your life so much easier. And I'm definitely going to be making all of this again because it was amazing. And if you want to know how to get into a calorie deficit, how to start losing weight, kickstart your vegan weight loss journey and make it super easy, then I have a free 6-day mini course that is going to teach you exactly how to do that. So you can check that out in the link in my description. All right, I'll see you next week for another video. Bye.